Message from the Senate. Madam Speaker, I hereby announce the passage by the Senate of the following House file, herewith returned as amended by the Senate, in which amendments to concurrence of the House is respectfully requested. House File Number 670, an act relating to capital investments. The message is signed Thomas S. Bodden, Secretary of the Senate. Lee F. moves that the House concur in the Senate amendments to House File Number 670 and that the bill be repassed as amended by the Senate.
Members, I know it's loud outside, but if we can have it a little bit quieter in here. Representative Lee, if you could explain the Senate amendments.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. House File 670, this is a motion to concur. This is the general fund cash infrastructure bill that all caucuses have agreed on. And just for all of you, the spending in the general fund portion of the capital investment bill is roughly $1,034 million. This is just a little bit more. As you recall, back in the March conversation that we have on the general fund cash appropriation bill, that was a total of $393 million. And so I just wanted to note that as we have this conversation. Thank you.
Any discussion on the motion to concur in the Senate amendments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. The motion prevails. The clerk will give the bill its third reading as amended by the Senate.
Third reading, House File Number 670, as amended by the Senate.
Third reading as amended by the Senate. Discussion to the bill. Any discussion to the bill? Representative Igo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wanted to speak to one thing that's in House File 670 here today that's very important to District 7A in northern Minnesota. That is the Canisteo Rising Pit Waters. It's been a project that we've been working on for over 2 decades. And today, with the passing of this bill, it's going to mean that the people of Itasca County, the communities of Coleraine, Taconite, and Bovie are going to get the fix they need to know that their homes aren't going to be destroyed and their communities will no longer be at risk. So I want to thank everyone from the community of Itasca and the surrounding area, everyone that's been working on this for over 20 years. Today, we're finally going to get it done. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Further discussion. The member from Meeker, Representative Erdahl.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. Going with the bill to follow, and this one often, well, at least in the tax bill, they come up with song titles. I've come up with, it's been a long and winding road for a bill that started over 2 years ago. Now, this bill has more cash in it, I'm sure, than any other bill in Minnesota history. Normally, our bills are heavily on GO and a very small amount of cash. This one has one heck of a lot of cash, and frankly, our priorities are different. Were we in control, the bill that we would write dealing with cash would have different priorities. But I recognize the reality of where we are, and that, again, the majority's priorities are different from the minorities, and that is what we face. And I urge everyone to vote.
The member from St. Louis, Representative Listagard.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just wanted to take this time to thank Chair Fu. He did an outstanding job bringing people together, looking at the whole state of Minnesota. And I can tell you that my region, the district that I represent, is going to do extremely well. And people's lives are going to be enhanced by the investment that you put forward in this bill. The whole state of Minnesota is going to benefit by this bill, and I couldn't be more proud. I joked with Representative Schultz over there that we voted on the train yesterday, and just because it passed, we didn't have it built, and he said he was going to grab his truck and help me haul all my money up north.
Further discussion to the bill. The member from Chisago, Representative New Brindley.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Representative Erdahl, for pointing out that we probably have different priorities than the majority. And you know, it's unfortunate when the bloated bonding bills are loaded up with projects that really should be covered by local municipalities and local taxpayers. I am 100% for HEPR. We need to take care of the buildings that we as a state own. We should take care of infrastructure, our roads, our bridges, our wastewater. Everyone in this state should have clean water. I think we put out unanimous votes this session on cleaning up lead in our water and making sure that that was a priority. But when we see things in these bills like fire stations, community centers, ice arenas, swimming pool, convention center. I'm just looking through for some of the most obvious things. You know, I mean, there's several swimming pools in here. You know, my community, we struggle to pave our roads. If only we had money for a swimming pool. But instead of my community paying for their own swimming pool, now my communities are going to pay for your swimming pools through this bonding. It's kind of gross. It's kind of gross that you are saying that the residents of North Branch should pay for these things. And I just want to call out a couple of particularly egregious items in here, and it's for one reason. There's an appropriation in here, there's cash in here for Giants Ridge, and there's cash in here for Spirit Mountain. And I want to tell you what the problem is, particularly with these two provisions. We are putting state dollars, in fact, the owners of Wild Mountain, the owners of Afton Alps, the owners of Buck Hill, the owners of Mount Cato, the owners of all of the ski resorts across the state of Minnesota are paying taxes to subsidize their competition. We've got $25 million in this bill to subsidize businesses owned by municipalities that are in direct competition with private business owners. It's no wonder. I mean, it's just yet another example of how the Democrat caucus has zero cares to give for business in the state of Minnesota. In fact, we are going to directly fund your competition. We're not just going to tax you to death. We're not just going to mandate you to death. Now we're actually going to fund your competition. It's bonkers.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the author of the bill, Representative Lee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. Members, oftentimes when we go on tours across the state to visit projects that are asking for our consideration for state investment, we get to see projects from years past and often see how communities benefit from the investment that we have made. And so in this bill, with the focus that we have had, Representative Erdahl mentioned this, I think that for us on this side of the aisle over here, we understand that oftentimes there are issues in our communities that are not being served by public or private interests, and so that's why we have nonprofits. And if you look at what we have in the provisions for some of these community organizations, they work on, for example, the project in my area, providing shelter for homeless youth. And then we also have projects in there that, similar to some of the work that we did earlier this session, looked at emergency shelters, help with our food insecurity in the state of Minnesota, every meal. Representative Becker-Finn is carrying that. And then also, community wealth building. We know that oftentimes community members, they need culturally appropriate health and well-beings and practices to make sure that they actually can thrive in their community. And so that's the type of investment that we are making in our communities here with this cash appropriation bills, and I'm really excited that we have this before us, and I will save most of my remarks for the GO infrastructure bill. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The clerk will take the roll on the bill. The clerk will close the roll. There being 78 ayes and 43 nays, the bill is repassed as amended by the Senate and its title agreed to.